Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, and in particular all the children and young people who are here. It really makes a difference that you are present today, and I hope that we can, when we talk about human rights, it's always about nothing about us without us, and I think it's really great that we're able to walk the talk on this in the Council, and really congratulations for that. In recent years, we have all seen appalling images of people suffering the horrific effects of conflict, who clearly, when it comes to children who have been affected by conflict, and obviously they have played no part in stoking the violence. People who could never be fighters or armed rebels or militia members because they are small children, sometimes babies. From Sudan to Gaza, from the Democratic Republic of the Congo to Ukraine, children are bearing the brunt of the global failure to uphold human rights. As international human rights and humanitarian law are broken with impunity, children are the most vulnerable victims. Even in countries that are at peace, children are routinely denied their rights to food, water and shelter, to education, healthcare, and a clean environment. Children make up a third of humanity. Our experiences during childhood can affect us for our entire lives, as we know so well. And children's small bodies make them more vulnerable to physical and environmental harms than adults. Upholding the rights of children is at the heart of our commitment to advancing and safeguarding human rights for all. The Convention on the Rights of the Child is the most widely ratified human rights treaty in the world. This shows the strong commitment of states to protect and promote the rights of every child without discrimination. Today, we must find our way back to that pledge. Mr. President, some 80% of our brain develops in the 3 years after our birth. Early childhood development is an essential foundation for a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. This, in turn, is the basis for strong communities and resilient economies. Yet, the gap between the Convention and reality is increasing. Many children face a precarious future. As action on hunger, poverty, and the 2030 Agenda falters, inequality and climate chaos increase. And I know that this is a particular concern of young people and of children. In the next 30 years, 8 times as many children could be exposed to extreme heat waves and twice as many to extreme wildfires. The digital divide means just 25% of children in low-income countries are online, compared with more than 95% in high-income countries. And children in all countries lack the protection needed to stay safe online. Decades of progress on children's rights and development are stagnating and even being rolled back, directly threatening children's early development and even survival. Almost 1 in 3 children worldwide do not have access to safe drinking water. 2 in 5 children lack access to basic sanitation. 1 in 3 children under 5 are not growing and developing as they should because of malnutrition. Over 385 million children are living in extreme poverty, surviving on less than $1.90 per day. And for children marginalized by their ethnicity or their socioeconomic migration or disability status, the situation is far worse. We are letting children down instead of lifting them up. Mr. President, we know what children need to survive and thrive: healthcare and nutrition, clean air and water, protection from harm, and a sense of nurturing and security. Initiatives that target the most marginalized children help to break cycles of poverty for the benefit of entire communities. But we also need to prioritize caregiving, play, and opportunities to learn. The interactions between young children, their caregivers, and the broader environment can be as important as access to food and clean water. A recent report by my office found that today's caregiving systems are neither sustainable nor resilient. It called for a transformation to align caregiving with human rights and make it fit for today's world. I urge governments to consider a human rights-based approach to care by providing support for parents and caregivers and quality childcare for all. My office has prioritized such an approach as part of our commitment to a human rights economy in which all financial and fiscal decisions are aligned with human rights. Investments in early childhood are one of the smartest ways to achieve sustainable economic development. Studies indicate that the economic return can be up to 13 times the amount invested. Programs, including South Africa's Child Support Grant and the Bolsa Familia program in Brazil, can help to ensure that children born into the toughest circumstances can still have their most essential needs covered. Governments, of course, have the primary responsibility to fulfill children's rights, but the private sector, civil society, educational institutions, and many other stakeholders have an interest and, I would say, also a responsibility when it comes to the well-being of children. We must all work together to provide children with the best possible chances in life. A child's early years are a vital window of opportunity, and their life chances should not depend on luck. In these troubling times, we must stand up together for the full implementation of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. We must revitalize investment in children, all children, everywhere. I will close by addressing the children in the room. You have my promise that my office and I personally will always stand up for you and all your human rights. Children are some of the most passionate defenders of human rights. We cherish your energy, your creativity, your commitment, and your power. My office is determined to work with you, not just for you. We want to amplify your voices and support you to represent yourselves in all the halls of power, including in the United Nations. It is my honor to speak up for the rights of the world's children, and I will never stop doing so. Merci beaucoup.